When you get your Singer Fagoter attachment, it was made for a straight stitch machine, and you get this low shank presser foot to go with it. However, that doesn't help you much if you've got other machines like a Slant shank or a high shank or a left homing needle machine. This won't work on any of them. However, I've been exploring a bit to see if it's possible to use something else to make a different type of presser foot to make it work, and I found out that there is a way to do it. And what I've done is I have, that's better, I think. Yes. What I found is that the zipper foot allows the process to work, and what I thought I would do is demonstrate how to do this effectively. In this instance, I'm using very fine, well, I'm using top stitching thread, which is thicker than standard thread. However, it's still, reasonably thin, and as a result of that, a small zigzag is about the best way to overstitch all of this to make it work. So what's important for this to make it work is to make sure your zigzag is on the left side there. So that's definitely left side. And then what you want to do is make sure that you have the thread, the string as well, and I'll show you this from the other small camera, on the left side, so that what happens is as you begin stitching, the zigzag will make sure it moves to the left side, and then as it zigzags to the right, it'll go over to the right. And once you've done that, just as I've shown you there, the thread has trapped it, so it's actually good to go, really. And you should be able to start stitching. However, what's important is to just put either a quilting foot, or here I'm using a skewer, just to make sure that the foot remains as far over to the left as it can, so the needle doesn't get caught on the shaft in the middle. If you sew slowly, you can just manage it yourself, but it does speed it up a bit, having a bit of the extra support. So let's start the process and start sewing. Okay, so I've got this set really fine. Make sure it's not hitting anything, and off we go. And make sure it's feeding. So let's finish this. So So going so fine, I'm probably doing something around 30 stitches per inch, or even 40, because it's a zigzag, so you'll see, I'll show you the results in a second. But it does take a while, however it does give a very, very nice result, because I'm using very fine thread, so as it stitches it very securely. Okay, almost done. Just a little bit of a reverse stitch to lock it in. And we'll take this out and show you. Okay. So the little snip. So you can see if I can bring that closer. Put my hand in behind it. So you can see the left side, so this side, is what I've just stitched in a very fine thread, and you can see it's a little more prominent than just the plain string on the right. However, because I've matched the threads, you can't really tell. So it's a matter of now doing the other side, and what I've found is the easiest is to just flip it over and sew from the bottom up. And then you don't have to adjust the zipper foot at all. If you want, you can of course move the zipper foot, but again, the same rule. Okay, right hand side, so we're good. So move the zigzag over to the right side. Now you can do this, of course, on a straight stitch machine. However, I just found it's easier to use the zigzag when doing stuff like this. So we're on the, there we are, it's good. Make sure the threads are held. Okay. And I'm just going to make sure it goes to the left side of it so that it locks. Yeah, we're good. And we'll move it back to very fine. And we'll start the process. So you can do it without the skewer in place. However, I just find it adds a bit of security to know that you can not have to worry about it too much, and then it becomes a fairly automated procedure, the same as if you're using the actual presser foot. And it allows you to go faster, more safely. But, you know, I could really ramp it up to full speed if I wanted, like that. Not my favorite with all this metal moving around though, so I prefer not to go too fast. Almost at the end now. Just slow down because you don't want to sew onto there's a wider bit right at the very end that you don't want. There we go, we just hit it, so that's why I always have to be a little gentle. I'll just move this slightly backwards, and then I've got the machine back in reverse just to lock those bits in. Done. Okay, let's show you how this looks. Pull it out, cut the thread, and there we have both sides stitched perfectly. See if I can bring that in a little closer, if the camera will focus. So you can see just I've done the gold on top of the red or the burgundy, and then I just have to pull it off. So you pull it off like that, then this will lift up, and now I can use this removal tool to just release the first stitches. Being a bit of a tight booger today. It's because once you get the few going, it loosens up a bit. There we go. Okay, so once that's kind of loose, what happens, you can let's just pull that off. This thing will pull to the back, and then it's becomes super easy just to run this tool down, and all of the stitches will come off. Okay. And then of course it just lifts off the other side. Oops. I did this very tight to make sure that it held well, so it's a little more complicated to get it off, as you can imagine. And we'll release those. Oop, one more, missed that one. These will just pull off now, and then what happens is all these strings in the bottom, which will be covered up and sewn up, just are released. Let's pull these out. And then we'll open this back up, unhook that, pull this over the top, since I got it tangled, pull these out, and it's loose. I made a big hash up of that, but that's what always happens with videos. Everything goes smoothly until you're live on camera, and then, well, you know, so that's just the way it is. But anyway, let's just show you the results that we've got on this. Really good result. So that's going to be a trimming. I've got loads and loads and loads of these to join together. That's the result. Hope you found that interesting, and hopefully that gives you an opportunity to use this attachment on other types of machines. Anyway, bye for now.